Hello and welcome or welcome back. This is Where Did My Money Go for October, my monthly spending comparison. This sheet is from the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbook, the printable version from 2021, I believe. I'm not gonna buy another copy. I'm probably not gonna buy another budget book because I really like being able to adjust things as I go, and I think I'm going to base my collection, if you will. I'm going to base my collection off of how the Budget Mom sets up her stuff, like roughly, but I'm going to kind of do my own thing and adjust Excel spreadsheets and print them out and work from there. So this is Where Did My Money Go? I am comparing October to the average for January to August. So I know this is a little different from what a lot of people do, because what this is actually supposed to be is you're comparing your current month to the previous month, but I like to think of it as comparing it to like how I've been doing, and month to month things change, but I figure an average is a good overview. September, of course, was a weird month because I sold my house, so everything was out of alignment, everything was off. So I'm not counting for this average. This is just January to August, and we shall see how things fall out. I'm going to use this sheet to come up with my December budget. I did not do this in time to use it for November, but that's okay. I'm going to use this for December because I want to be more realistic with how I'm actually spending my money. So that being said, let's get into it. This is my categories according to how they're set up now. So for investments, and I put all my investments in this one category because there's a limited number of lines here, y'all. So for investments, I didn't do anything all year for investments until I sold the house. So this is $1,415 went to investments, 32% of the budget. So of course that is way more than what I'd been doing the beginning of the year. And then for YouTube, $23 stayed the same for the average versus October, and that is less than 1% of both. So that is fine. Renter's insurance, $21 on average, and it's actually still $21. Nothing came out in October though because the payment was delayed. So I guess it looks like I spent nothing, but really it's just the payment delayed. So technically that's $21 less, but I know this is going to keep coming out. So then car wash, $18 on average, less than 1% of the whole budget. Same for this. So that has stayed the same with my average versus current. Netflix, I wasn't paying for Netflix before because I had my phone bill through T-Mobile, and T-Mobile paid for my Netflix. However, I switched to Mint Mobile, which is less expensive, but they do not cover Netflix. So now I am paying for Netflix, and that is $11, which is less than 1% of my budget, but it is $11 more than I had been paying before. So then we get to my trouble spot here. Dining out, on average, I was spending $34 a month, January to August. And then October, it was $165, which is atrocious. And I really need to get that together. So that went from less than 1% of the budget to 4% of the budget. Not great, y'all. Not great. $131 more than my average. So I'm not excited about that. And then groceries. This is also skewed, but it's skewed down because my partner is now contributing to groceries temporarily. So my average was $333, which was 9% of my average inflow, my average budget, and then it's down to, for October, is $168, which is 4% of the budget. So that's $165 less. But this is going to go back up because eventually my partner is going to stop contributing to groceries because he's not going to owe me money anymore. So that's, that's that. I'm not really going to adjust that. So then fuel and tolls, the average. And what I did for this one was I averaged for when I was actually paying fuel and tolls. So this was only like the first 4 months. I think I only had a car up until April, and then I got a new car in September. So those months in between, I didn't count those. So the average for the months that I did have a car was $336 of fuel and tolls, which is 9% of the budget, which was 9% of the budget. And now this month I spent $68, which is 2% of the budget. So that's a huge difference. Part of that difference is I no longer drive rideshare, at least for the time being. So I'm spending much less on fuel. And also I have a much more fuel efficient vehicle. So before I had a Dodge Grand Caravan, which got approximately 16 miles per gallon, which is not great, y'all. Not great at all. And now I have a Toyota RAV4 hybrid, which gets 45 miles per gallon. So, drastic difference. And so this month I spent 200, well, I guess technically it is November now. So whatever. In October, I spent $268 less than what my average was for when I had my previous car. And then for health, my average was $124, which is 3% of the budget. And I did not contribute anything to health in October. But again, this is much like renter's insurance, where this only didn't come out because I had so much in my health envelope already. So I don't really want to get over $500 in my health envelope because I have other things that I want to do with my money. So that's really all that was. So it's less, but I am going to go back to budgeting probably maybe $60 a month starting in December. We'll see how that goes. And then shopping, I budgeted and I spent an average of $44 January to August. And then for October, it was $80. So almost twice as much, $36 more. This was just because we needed more stuff for the house. So it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm probably going to go back to doing something around this number starting in December. We shall see how that goes. Birthdays, average $23. I don't remember why. I think 1 month I gave this $40. I can't remember how that worked out, but it's still less than 1% of the budget, so that's fine. And then in October I gave it $20, so that's 100% fine. We shall see if I end up raising this. I don't know. We'll see. And then clothing got an average of $24 January to August, which is less than 1% of the budget. And then for October, it got $90, which is 2% of the budget. So that's $66 more. And honestly, clothing does need to get more money than this. More money than the $20, which is what more than the $20, which is what I normally give it. I've said this before, my partner goes through clothes at ridiculous rates. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know what happens or how this works, but he materializes holes in his clothes and his shoes wear down fast, and I don't know. My clothes have to get replaced at what I consider a reasonable rate, so I get new shoes maybe every 2 years, and or not even that often, something like that, around every 2 years. I replace shirts maybe every 2 or 3 years, something like that. Same with pants. I don't buy clothes that often for myself, but my partner goes through clothes like crazy. Like he has holes. He gets holes in his clothes so fast. I don't understand it, but let's be real. He pays the rent, except for, you know, occasions where things have not gone according to plan. And he pays the bills, so I make sure that like everyone's okay. So I am gonna need to up this clothing allowance. We shall see how that goes though. And then shoes, I was not previously budgeting anything for shoes. Shoes do need their own category though, because again, my partner goes through shoes like crazy. But $25 is still not a lot of money. But it should be enough to get shoes like, you know, every few months for him at least. So that's still less than 1% of the budget, so that's fine. And then pet food, the average is $49. I think 1 month I gave it like 100 or something. I can't remember exactly what happened with that, but in October I gave it 40, which is like my roughly normal amount. So that's fine. It's $9 less than what my average was, but I'm actually not going to be buying his food for a little while, so I might actually pause contributing to this for a while. We'll see how that goes. And then transit, my average for that was $88. That's 2% of the budget. And then for October, I gave it 100, which is also 2% roughly. You know, we're rounding here. I didn't want to give super exact numbers because that would have taken too long and too much to write. So that was $12 more, but this is going to be the normal amount that I give because that allows for the 30-day pass plus the kids' train fare. So both me and my partner have passes on our phones for the kids for when we ride with the kids on public transit. So sometimes it'll be me, sometimes it'll be him charging that. So I wanted to make that into a sinking fund. So this will be the normal amount for it. And then personal, I wasn't budgeting anything for it before, but in October I gave it $20, and miscellaneous I was budgeting $40 for it before, and 38 was my average. But now it's getting 20 because now I'm splitting it between these two categories. It makes sense to me, y'all. It makes sense to me. So now that's split up. So that's $20. So $18 less than budgeted, less than my average, but that's 100% fine because all that's happening really is I'm splitting this up between two categories. And then for my goal funds and this, so what had happened is I changed some of my bills into sinking funds. So like my phone bill was monthly when I was T-Mobile, and then I switched to Mint Mobile, so now my phone bill is annual. So now it's a goal sinking fund. So if I went through my monthly budgets previously and I tried to like switch it up, the things wouldn't match up because some used to be bills are now sinking funds. So I just moved the things that are currently sinking funds. I just moved those from the bill categories that they used to be in to my goal fund. So now it's just all in one, and honestly that makes it way easier. Way easier. So the average for January to August for all the categories that are currently sinking funds, that was $1,259 as the average, and that was 34% of the budget. And now for October, I saved $1,753, which is 40% of this budget. So that was $494 more than the average, and that is a-okay because again, some of the things that were just bills are now sinking funds. So like things just weigh out differently. And I'm being more, I don't have debt now, so I'm not contributing to that. So like a lot more money is going to savings. which is great because that's reflected in my interest payments from the bank. So yay on that. And then for my, the last category that we're gonna compare here, my goal funds spent. So this is my savings spent. The average for January to August was $501, which is 14% of the budget. And then for October, $357 came out of savings. So that's 8% of the budget, or $144 less than what this average was. And honestly, a big part of that is because I used some of my emergency fund and I used car maintenance because I had like big problems with my minivan in like that last month that I had it. I think the maintenance bill was like, it was over $2,000. It was insane. So that kind of skewed these numbers here, but I'm okay. I'm okay with any goal funds spent as long as I'm not draining my emergency fund, because all of these funds are meant to be spent eventually. We're saving up for things, y'all. We're saving up for things. So the numbers are going to go up and down, and that is okay. As long as the goal funds don't completely get depleted, like we're okay. We're okay. Things are adding up. So this is my overview of the comparison between October and my average. There are some things that are going to change. I'm using this as my guide. As I said, I'm using this as my guide to set my budget for December. And we shall see how this goes, but I'm hoping to make things a little more realistic so that I don't have to give myself quite so much wiggle room, because I don't want to keep having 2 jobs forever, y'all. I don't. Let me know in the comments how you adjust your budget. Do you look at your previous like multiple months of spending, or do you just look at what you spent the last month and just kind of like guesstimate how it's gonna go this month? I don't know. This might seem like too much work to you. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm if I'm doing way too much, or if you would like to see this done again, because I kind of had fun with the little comparison. It was a lot of work considering I've changed my categories. So like trying to fit the numbers in was a little bit of work, but I think it'll be a lot easier going forward because I don't plan on changing my categories too much after this. Well, we'll see how that goes. Always plan for changes, I suppose. There are going to be some things probably that are going to change over time, but I feel like I have a pretty good situation here. I like how things are set up. So let me know what you think. I love you. I appreciate you. You deserve financial stability, and I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.